What could you talk about for 30 minutes straight without any preparation? Guitar history. Not the history of guitar music, but the instrument itself. I could also just go on and on and on about different models. I'm like the Mona Lisa Vito of guitars. I have a pretty good career right now, but sometimes I daydream about just leaving it all behind to go work in some boutique guitar shop somewhere. Edit. Thanks for all the comments and the gold, y'all are super sweet. Fragrances. Did you know one of the most expensive natural substances is a fragrance ingredient and costs between $30,000 and $40,000 a liter? It's harvested from trees that have a certain fungal infection. The thing is, when people try to establish farms and inoculate trees themselves, the aroma isn't the same and is judged in blind studies as lower quality. Gender for fragrance is mostly a 20th century construct. However, when people sniff certain women's fragrances from the 1930s and compare them to men's fragrances from the current era, they label the genders backwards. Certain fragrances for women smell more masculine than today's scents, and vice versa. The concept of a clean, fresh fragrance is wildly different in FHEUS, France, Dubai and Japan. Smells in fragrances are called notes. Some occur naturally, others are man-made. Leather smells are man-made. Whale vomit uses to act as a fixative and change the aroma of fragrances. Edit. My price for the ingredient was low, currently at $100k USD per kilo. Interesting episodes of my life. I'm 77. Space, it's just never ending. Anything aviation related. It's all I noted. I don't like talking about it, it's just all I know. The poop from farm animals and what plants the manure is best for. I grew up on a farm. If I pass a field that's been spread with manure, I can't tell from the smell what animal it came from. By the way, chicken manure smells the worst. Edit. Wow, turns out this has been my most popular response yet, and thank you for the gold, kind sir. Scientology. Some really fluffed up stuff. I work in a coroner's office. I could go into crazy death stories. It's pretty fascinating and people die in the weirdest ways. Edit. For those who are interested, please see below for a couple stories. I'll post more in a little bit. Critically acclaimed but quickly cancelled TV series. The behavior of street birds. Like literally birds, that is not a euphemism. For example, pigeons bob their heads at approximately 150 bpm, so if you watch them walk while listening to hardstyle or DNB, they look like they are raving out. Languages. It's quite ironic considering nobody talks to me IRL. Lord of the Rings. I know more about Middle-earth's history than my own country's history. My job. Please don't make me talk about my job. Edit. Since y'all want to know so bad, I draw blood at a blood donation center. Half the reason it pisses me off is most the garbage they ask is stuff covered in the packet we make you read to make sure you're healthy, so not only should it be redundant to ask but indicates your blood is potentially unsafe to the recipient. You stupid fluff. I know you donated 8 weeks ago, but unless you work in our company or for the FDA, then how would you know if rules have changed? It's been 2 months, man. Also, you insist you know my job and don't need to hear my lecturing but still ask all these questions that are in the packet? Fluff you, and some of you I know are lying to get a free STD test, which aren't always perfect, so that's risky for everyone, but most are lying that they're old and their balls stopped working so their doctor is juicing them with testosterone now and your blood got too thick. Trust me, we can tell. Just tell me your shots and then lie in the appropriate way your doctor told you to, you stupid fluff. And part of why I hate questions is, again, it does you didn't read, but it's always about suspicious garbage. Common example, why tattoos, but no one ever adds, cause I was thinking if getting one, phrase 1, suspicious, phrase 2, understandable, think about how you talk, but no one does and it comes off very suspicious, and again does you didn't read. You guys think I'm being petty but it's almost everyone every day. I like my job if the people can avoid being turds. Then I have to make 6 to 8 minutes of small talk while you donate to keep you distracted so you don't black out, and I rarely get questions about me, which is understandable, but come on, throw me a bone, and try to actually ask, i.e. don't just say, you going to college? Follow up with where, why that, enjoy it, how much longer, anything. People make horrible conversation, you want to converse. Just politely extrapolate more info from them, you'll find what they like. Basics of anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing. Why torque is more important than horsepower. Ghibli. Just anything Ghibli. The Japanese colonization period of Taiwan. All the food I miss from my hometown. So very homesick. WW2 tanks. Literally nothing, not even my own job. Now I'm sad. How to count to 1800.1234. Music, music composition, production, sound design, music theory, piano technique, you get the picture. Smiley face, also Dutch accents. Frank Abagnale Jr. I love smart and clever criminals and he is up there at the top of the list in my book. Places to visit in Austria. Norse mythology, me and my friends are writing an album about the myths, it's so exciting. Edit, no, it's not heavy metal, haha, it's actually pop rock with a little twist of R&B and punk here and there. The album is in both Danish and English by the way, we're gonna start recording the album in August, so in the meantime you can follow us on social media where we will post bits and pieces of our performances and songs. Instagram, Haroldojblatender. YouTube, Harold Ogde Blatander. Here we will post the full-length songs, link to YouTube, https://www.youtube.com/channel/ucmdsphi_txnicfopflurk. The name of our band directly translates to Harold and the Blue Teeth, which is a nod to the Viking King, Harold Bluetooth. Smiley face, edit 2. Unfortunately, our YouTube doesn't have much content yet, but we'll be posting more soon. Also, I recommend reading Neil Gaiman's book called Norse Mythology if you want to get into it. Smiley face. Paper Mario, Sticker Star. Nintendo took my favorite RPG series and drove it into the ground, and I could go on for a full hour about it if you get me started. Name every U.S. senator, their party affiliation, and their voting record going back to 1960, and if there's time left, I could move on to every Supreme Court justice since John Jay. Too bad I'm not a history teacher. Duck slongas, they are honestly really interesting. Reddit. Mostly the really niche and odd subreddits that no one knows about but are still really weird or interesting. Beekeeping, been doing it for 4 years and they are so interesting. Skyrim. History of the video game industry from the Nintendo Sega era through the current one. I could give individual 30-minute talks on software, specifically game engines and middleware packages, hardware, companies and personnel important to the industry, and game designs, theory and their evolution, also mid-market accounting software packages and their various pros and cons, but literally no one but other accountants want to hear that. Probably go on about cool things in outer space for half an hour, but that would be less detailed and more ramble than the first 2 subjects. Programming, networking, the structure of the hardware layer. In my spare time I tend to keep away from computers, nowadays, except the one in the trousers pocket. And honestly, please don't make the computer science guy in your orbit fix your computer. You are as good in using Google for the error description as he is. Trust me. My wife, she is my favorite subject. Minecraft. Social media manipulation and how I think it's the biggest threat to modern democracy there is. Specifically as it relates to Reddit. Star Wars prequel references and how to get up votes with them. How life can really fluff you over. Cats. Anything. I'm a Jedi in the art of bullgarbageting. Why I have come to dislike the Harry Potter books, without going into it too much. The 2 biggest ones are, and #X200B, 1. I think the magic system is terrible and causes issues with the plot. 2. Harry rarely succeeds on his own merits, and is deus ex machina ed too often. True crime. I could tell you about all my failures and shortcomings, but it would take a lot more time than just 30 minutes. Stardew Valley, languages, psychology. Cock and ball torture. Call me a nerd, but pretty much anything related to chemistry, astronomy, or biology. Lucid dreaming and memory techniques. Doctor Who. I can list every actor to play the Doctor in the show's canon without hesitation, and could talk about the show itself for 2 whole hours, never mind just 30 minutes. Hell, I could do a 24-hour presentation on Doctor Who. Black Mirror episodes. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure or anything Zelda related. Why my husband is wrong and I am right. MCU, Stephen King books, Nintendo games, Game of Thrones. Snakes. I love them so fluffing much. Greek or Norse mythology. Ebola, King Henry V and Marie Antoinette, me. I could also talk about myself for a solid 30 minutes. Boy, do I have stories. Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones, love them both so much and there's so many cool things about them. Books and show. Makeup, pastries and animals. I'm simply an animal-loving, makeup-addicted confectioner. Time travel, parallel dimensions, the universe, religion, existence, it's so interesting to learn everyone's thoughts on those things. Minecraft, Overwatch, culture, politics, as in these are 4 different topics. Star Wars, I can just go on and on. Just wanted to say that if any of you here have a school presentation where you can talk about anything, chose a topic you wanted to write here. If you know your subject very well, it's as simple as gathering a few pictures into a PowerPoint. Why being in the Marine Corps is awesome, followed up by another 30 minutes of why the Marine Corps sucks.